it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from the Leviathan box. Yes, we have the brand new, awesome Terminators. Here they are, looking absolutely imposing and fantastic. An immovable object and unstoppable force combined into one unit. These are sent to me early by Games Workshop as part of the Leviathan box, and we're going to be painting up some Blood Angels Terminators today, because Blood Angels are the best. Fight me on it. A massive thank you to them for this, and well, we're just going to jump in and start painting them. We're painting up the entire unit. Now, there's not going to be too many differences between all of the stuff that's going on here, but there's going to be the occasional thing that we are going to pick out. So for example, we have our sergeant here who's going to have black pauldrons, for example. He does also have his power sword, and then we have power fists. On the rest of them we have the assault cannon. So we're mostly going to be focusing on like these three guys, but we will be painting all five at the same time. Now, they've all been primed in grey here, and the colour we're going to be using first is Baal Red. Now, we're going to be applying this over the top of all of the armour, but, well, as mentioned, we're not going to apply this over the top of his shoulder plaids, and we're not going to apply this over the power fists. No, those are going to be a different colour, because Blood Angels. So, we're going to take that Baal Red first and foremost, and we're just going to start applying this over the top of all of our red armour. Just like this. Now, Baal Red is a single pigment contrast paint, so you can afford to just kind of slap it on there with reckless abandon. But if you have too much on your brush, you do run the risk of creating gravity blobs. So you don't want to kind of go too nuts. You don't have to worry too much about kind of drying lines and tide marks like you do normally with contrast paint. So you can just have fun slapping some paint on the models. With that Baal Red all applied, as you can see, what we're now going to do is we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Contrast Medium and Blood Angels Red, and we're going to apply this over the top. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Black Legion, and we're going to apply this over the top of quite a number of different details. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of all of our Terminator's power fists, like this. We're going to apply this over the top of the Aquila on their chests. We're going to apply this over the top of the casings of their guns, the soft details in the joints of their armor, and that's it, except for the sergeant's shoulder pads. So with that Black Legion all applied, what we're then going to do is take some Basilicanum Grey, and we're going to apply this over the top of the Crux Terminatus on their left shoulders. With that Basilicanum Grey applied, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde, and we're going to apply this over the top of all the parchment. With that Skeleton Horde all applied, we're then going to take some Archangel's Green, and we're going to apply this over the top of the little wax seals. It's not nowhere near enough paint on my brush there. There we go. So we're going to apply this over the wax seals. We're going to apply this over the soft grip on the sword, and use this over the top of their eye lenses. So with that Archangel's Green all applied, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Iron Warriors, and we're going to apply this over the top of quite a few of the details. So we're going to apply this over the top of the sword blade, first and foremost. We're going to apply this over the top of the mechanical parts of the bolt gun, the Storm Bolter, and we're also going to do this over the top of the kind of grill on the Terminator helmets, the little laser pointers on their shoulders, as well as any other areas that you want to be silver. So with all that Iron Warriors applied, we're going to apply our final base coat, which is going to be some thinned down Retributor Armour over the top of all of our remaining details. So with that, all of our base coats are now on our Terminators, so it is time to add some shades. And the first one we're going to add is some Nuln Oil. I'm going to be applying this over the top of all of the silver and all of the black. And with that Nuln Oil all applied, we're then going to take some Reikland Fleshshade. I'm going to apply this over the top of the gold. So with those shades applied, our Terminators are now at what I would call a Warhipster battle ready, and they're already looking pretty fantastic. However, we're not going to leave it there. Of course not. We're going to take it to the next level. We're going to do this by adding some highlights. Now, the first highlight we are going to add is some thinned down Evil Sunz Scarlet. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull some of this up on our brush just here, and we're going to start picking out all of the edges. Now, this one, in some cases, is not going to look like it's doing very much, but what it is doing is it's adding a little foundation and just a little bit of extra light to our armor. As you can see on that belt buckle there, like that. Looks pretty cool, right? So we're just going to go around like this, picking out all the edges. And then once that's done, we shall return. So with all that Evil Sunz Scarlet applied, what we're then going to do is take some Fire Dragon Bright. I'm going to use this to highlight the kind of top edges and sharp details of all of our red. So with that done, the red armor is now all finished. So what we're going to do is going to move on to the black, and the color we're going to be using to highlight that is some thinned down Dawnstone. I'm going to highlight all of our black details here. Just like this. So with that Dawnstone all applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Administratum Grey. We're going to use this to add a little spot highlight to the sharpest corners and upwards facing edges on all of the black, and we're also going to use this to highlight our Crux Terminators. And with that all done, we're then going to take a teeny tiny amount of Gauss Blaster Green and draw it a little line. Go across the middle of their eye lenses like that. Make them look nice and glowy. So with that done, it's now time to move on to the metallics. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. And we're going to apply this over the top of the sword blade and the assault cannon's rotary barrels. I'm just going to avoid any recesses. Just like this. And with that Iron Warriors all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Ironbreaker. And we're now going to use this to highlight all of the metallics. Well, all of the silver. With that Ironbreaker all applied, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Liberator Gold. I'm going to use this to highlight all the gold. And with that Liberator Gold all applied, it's now time to take some Warp Lightning. And we're going to apply this over the top of any lenses. And with that Warp Lightning applied, this is entirely optional, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of Frostheart. I'm going to apply this over the top of the power node, just here. I'm going to apply it along the cord a little bit as well. And then we're just going to apply this a little bit around it. On the blade itself. We're then going to wash the brush, and then we're just going to smooth out the blue on the sword. Just a little bit of a blue glow just around that power node.
And here we are then, our Leviathan Blood Angels Terminators are now finished, and they're fantastic models. It's a really nice glow up that the Terminator kit has had, especially since the old ones are quite diddy now compared to stuff like the sort of new Gravis Marines and things like this. These guys absolutely stack up wonderfully against them, and they look absolutely imposing and indomitable. I love them. Now we need an assault squad. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so. Head to patreon.com/Warhipster, just like these bosses have done, scrolling up on the screen before you, whose continued support helps me continue to make all the wonderful content that you enjoy. Alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button on the channel page or just below this video, like these wonderful amazing people have done. And if you really like this video and you just want to shoot me a little thanks, you can click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.